All right, how's it going, everybody? This is George CLC Samuels, and today we have Drew Pflaum, all the way from Perth, Australia. And I'm going to let Drew actually introduce himself. We were actually just talking about this. I was going to try introducing him, but I'm going to let his enthusiasm come out in his introduction. So, Drew, why don't you just introduce yourself for everybody, what you do, and what you're passionate about.
Yeah, extremely passionate about Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, we're going back and forth. Who am I? I say a Bitcoin Cash advocate for sure. Organising the Bitcoin Cash meetup here in Perth.
Yeah. But
professionally, one of the pioneer tax accountants here in Australia on cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
If not the pioneer.
Yeah, dude. Because there really aren't that very many accountants that are well versed in the crypto space. A lot of them I've found have tried to kind of keep away. You know, they're like watching from a safe distance. When did you first decide to like go all in, or what was that moment for you?
Yeah, so the way it worked was like me personally as a hobby, I've been following Bitcoin for several years now. So familiar with all the news and sort of how the ecosystem's evolved.
Yeah.
And then last year, 2017, kicked off interest, mainstream-ish use, and people were making some serious gains. And what I saw was people were asking questions, how's this tax? And other people were coming back saying, oh, don't worry, it's just fiat in, fiat out. Otherwise, you don't need to worry. I was like, uh-oh, this is no... the wrong information is getting out there, and people aren't going to get it right or give themselves the best ability to minimize their tax. And look, that's not a good situation to be in when the tax authorities come, because you can't simply go, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't. But they don't take that. So set out on a mission just to answer some questions, went to meetups, gave presentations, wrote a few blogs, just to get the information out there so people could make informed decisions.
Yeah. And
from that, it just really kicked off with a flood of inquiries coming our way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Which we're happy about professionally as well. And really it's become, I was a tax accountant doing the traditional business accounting and the like, and now it's pretty much just crypto every day.
Yeah. And how have you found, like, in terms of being able to keep track of everything? Because, there's so many wallets. It's not like we have a zero for cryptocurrencies at the moment, right? Where it's easy to reconcile stuff with crypto transactions. Like for me, I knew that in terms of regulations coming, I knew they were eventually going to come. So I've been like keeping my own, like a spreadsheet of my own to keep track of stuff. What have you been recommending to folks that have been coming your way around just handling, the transactions themselves and making sure that they're ready for if anything comes in the future? Not if, but when.
Yeah, record keeping, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it really is. That's the only thing. Because I think we all thought.
People come, they're doing trades every single day on multiple exchanges, and whoa, God,
yes,
a lot to deal with. And there's no easy solution. As they say, we live in the Wild West at the moment, so there's nothing that's perfect. We found that cointracking.info is all right source to capture a lot of the transactions.
Okay.
Now, that one and bitcoin.tax, they can capture the transactions.
Yep.
They've got a reporting function, but it's not up to the standard or the requirements that we need to fill out a tax return.
Yeah.
So what we do, at least internally, is we basically use these sources to capture transactions, export them out. We manipulate the spreadsheet as required to upload into a separate software, which we use. But that's our way to do it. People who haven't used cointracking.info, they just do a export out of the exchange in a CSV file. Essentially, then we go back and say, look, this is the information we need from this spreadsheet, which is the date of the transaction, the crypto bought, the quantity, crypto sold, the quantity. Then you need a reference for the dollar amount there, US dollar or Australian dollar. Like, we don't mind.
Yeah.
We'll eventually get it into Australian dollars from there.
Yep.
Where do you get that reference from? Because crypto, I mean, there's generally no one price.
Yeah,
You look
exactly.
at one exchange, you look at another, different prices.
Yeah.
You need to use something that's reliable and reputable, e.g. CoinMarket.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then it's also pretty good to have a reference for your own mind. So if you're keeping track of transactions, you this was done on Bitstamp, for example.
Yeah.
So then should you need to go back and actually get that directly from Bitstamp, you know where to go.
Yeah. And so do you have, are your clients getting you to manage their accounts as well? Or is it you having to ask them specifically for, everything that you've just, laid out?
It varies.
Yeah.
Typically, we don't like to do the bookkeeping, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. It is a nightmare.
Because it's a nightmare. There's a lot of work. It's not that it's too difficult. It's just it's so time consuming.
Yes.
So we like to work and say, look, they sort of send us some of the information you've got. All right, can you change it into this format? Then we can use it. That's the pathway we're working on at the moment.
Yeah.
It'll get better as time goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like everything else. So someone will create a great solution to capture most of this.
Yeah, crossing fingers because it's one of those things too. I think the idealism of Bitcoin in the early days. I mean, still now, right? Is that like you have financial sovereignty, you handle your own keys, but obviously the creation of banks and bookkeeping accounts and accountants, right? It was not because we didn't want to keep have privacy or security over our own finances. It's also like the time to keep track of everything. You want it automated as much as possible, or you hand it to another trusted source.
Yeah, you're spot on there. Yeah.
And it's okay. Bitcoin Cash. When obviously the fork happened halfway through 2017. What appealed about Bitcoin Cash to you during that whole time? And of course, lots of things have been happening. Yeah.
Look, I was a early-ish adopter of Bitcoin as drawn to it for its global digital cash properties.
Yep.
And I just dabbled with it early days and spent some and actually used it, because it's meant to be as a currency.
Exactly.
So I noticed quite quickly when the transaction fees were going up. And look, I was complaining when it was 5 cents transaction fees.
Yeah.
I thought, 5 cents, this thing's meant to be used by people who are earning $2 a day.
Yeah.
You can't charge 5 cents per transaction.
Yeah.
But at the time, 5 cents, okay, I get it. We're building improvements. Yeah, we can bring that 5 cents down. But then it just went on a continued upward trend.
Yeah.
And then 2017 became quite clear there was huge division of the future roadmap and the end goal and how to achieve that.
Yeah.
So when Bitcoin Cash broke away, I sat back and was just like, I'll just let this solve itself. But then it got about a month in and I went, nah, Bitcoin Cash is on the roadmap and that I always wanted Bitcoin to be on. So I swung all my support to Bitcoin Cash's way. I was still hopeful for SegWit 2X.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the final straw for me.
Yeah.
When that failed, I left Bitcoin BTC.
Yeah. Far out, man. I mean, that's like a lot of us, I guess, who are really strong supporters in the early days of Bitcoin, or at least that vision, and we obviously we connected via Twitter, which is a great thing about Twitter. But I'm sure you've noticed just how much bickering goes on in the Twitter sphere. What has been some of your most interesting experiences in engaging in the conversations with folks on Twitter, both good and bad? Yeah,
I was always pretty quiet on Twitter until this massive debate kicked off, and then got involved. And the biggest thing for me was first getting trolled.
Yeah.
Like when that first happened, I remember one particular tweet I put out, which was essentially saying I call Bitcoin BTC like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. Like
a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
People missed the like and they just went, "You're calling Bitcoin BTC a Ponzi scheme."
Oh gosh.
And a wave came. I never experienced that before. It was only a small wave, but it was a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just got me thinking, oh my God, how much like Roger must put up with.
Exactly.
And it, puts you into perspective on how things are. And yeah, exactly. It was amazing.
Yeah. And it's weird, right? Like, it's only when it happens to you do you understand or have context as to just, for Roger, like as an example, just how much he has to deal with and how much conviction he must have to continue, stating his message and his belief, despite the large number of people who are trolling and doing these type of things. We know like Twitter is full of these, fake accounts and bots, but at the same time, like that is also influencing other people's views and opinions if they're not quite well versed, right, in the ecosystem. And you recently had a meetup in Perth. How did that go? What were your learnings?
Yeah, just yesterday actually. It was our inaugural meeting.
Nice.
It was great fun.
Yep.
We had about a dozen people turn up. Most people knew about Bitcoin Cash. There were a few vocal supporters like myself.
Yep.
There were a few people who were just sort of in the crypto space wanting to know what's up. It was very good. There's a couple of fellas that one of their mates is like, nah, Bitcoin Cash, it's a scam.
Yeah.
So I was very happy that they came along with an open mind.
Yeah, great.
To listen in. And there was one person who was just completely new to everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was great fun. I got to introduce everyone to Cointext.
Yes, yeah, man, that's fun, right? When you get to do that, like.
Yeah, and by introduce, everyone got $5 of Cointext.
Yeah, beautiful.
Of Bitcoin Cash using Cointext. They were blown away. They loved it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then we're also speaking about the new NFC app, the Hand Cash.
Yep. Yeah, how did that go? I haven't tried that one out yet.
Yeah, so as long as you've got an Android phone, you can play around with it.
Yes, no Android at the moment.
Yeah. Everyone was really testnet rich because it's only on the testnet. So I was sending everyone $1,000 of testnet fake Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, nice.
Thought that was good fun.
Yep.
Yeah. But just talking about how, that's what Cointext is more for the underdeveloped world.
Yeah.
Everyone could see that. And the Hand Cash, just tap each other.
Yep.
That's the future for the developed world.
Yep, exactly.
And yeah, I think most people were in agreement. They were very happy about that.
Yeah, in Sydney, ours was on Thursday night, and there was one guy who was, saying, why has Cointext not been marketed out? Like, why does everybody not know about Cointext yet? And, I mean, it's a good point, but it's at the same time, I also said, this is supposed to be private beta. Right? It's just like grown like wildfire. But yeah, I told him it's in private beta. We're not going to go marketing out Cointext just yet when there's still a lot of things that need to be worked on. But in your meetup, did you guys talk about? Well, I guess what were some of the most challenging questions? Were there any challenging questions that were brought up or discussions?
The new lady there, it's always difficult to bring down the technical talk and just explain very briefly and concisely what it is that's got everyone interested in this tech. Because that's very important. I've been to a few meetups along the way where people do a course on what is Bitcoin or what are cryptocurrencies, and straight over the top. Many people says. Because it just goes too technical too quickly.
Yeah.
Either because from the presenter side or someone sitting in the audience who just can't help themselves and wants to talk technical.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you always get them.
Yeah. So that's always interesting.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, it was just generally a lot of just the usual discussions. Quite a lot of relief there from the guys who were the big Bitcoin Cash supporters, having come from the Bitcoin side. Yeah. And so they're happy to connect with other people who are similar interests.
Of course. And in Perth, are there any folks or I guess local merchants that you've come across that are accepting any cryptocurrencies in general?
Merchants extremely limited at this stage. I know there's a Facebook group who are like well into crypto, love their crypto, but huge traders.
Yeah.
Apparently they're getting out and speaking to a few merchants.
Yep.
But the fact is even if you got a merchant that's interested, there's no easy solution for them to plug and play. You know,
Exactly.
they don't want to go to the effort of learning hours on end to get something set up when not many people are going to come.
Yep, exactly. And I think that's what Craig Wright was talking about as well in the Q&A session. You know, he's like, most people don't care about all the technicals and, you know, the stuff under the hood. They just want something that works, you know, like you said, plug and play. The hotel that we hosted at as well, you know, we were asking them, they were watching the Q&A as well, which was great because they were learning at the same time. And then they asked, you know, how can we actually get Bitcoin Cash set up for, you know, to be able to get food and drinks for folks? And I was like, yeah, okay, we need to have that discussion and then look at a, you know, way for you guys to be able to get set up. Because even I was thinking, yeah, what is the easiest way to get them onboarded, right? Of course, you could just get like an iPad with a QR code, go straight to their Bitcoin Cash wallet. But yeah, what are the other solutions? What are they going to try? Yeah, they can get in.
Yeah, I don't think QR codes, they're not going to work in Australia. Australians, they won't go to the effort. That's too unfamiliar for Australians.
Yep.
It needs to be tapping. We've got cards. Everyone's tapping these days with your cards, your Visas, your MasterCards.
Yep.
Your Apple Pay, your Android Pay.
Yep.
That's convenient. The banks have just now, they're doing that real time.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, right? Good timing.
So we've lost that advantage now.
Yep.
And we need to be like at least equal and then something else better to get people to learn that. Because there's always going to be some gap there where people need to learn.
Yep.
So, yeah, things still have a long way to develop.
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying to the guys. The great thing about Cointex and Handcash is really, I mean, like at least Bitcoin, I can't see Bitcoin being able to do this.
Yeah. Yep.
At least not in its present form.
Yep.
Because you can't do it with your fees.
Exactly.
Your fees being so high and your unreliable confirmation times.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
The industry needs to move quickly.
Yep.
And we're seeing that though.
Yes, we are.
The community is on board with that, and so are some of the big business, which is great.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. And, you know, I've been hearing a lot of folks say what's happening in the Bitcoin Cash community is similar to how they felt when Bitcoin was first coming up. And, you know, that's great to hear. But it's also, you know, like the cycles, right? There are cycles, and you always have that like beginning phase, and then things go mainstream. And, you know, that's just part of the nature of growth, you know. But I think it is going to be important that, yeah, we do build off of that momentum from the Bitcoin Cash side. But so happy to see what's happening at the moment. You know, the hashtag BCEH for everyone, I'm really enjoying actually following. Right? You got these good news stories essentially coming out from there. And of course, you know, going back to your expertise around the accounting side, the advice that you're giving at the moment, is it general accounting advice that can be applied to, you know, anybody around the world in terms of, you know, the record keeping side? Because you know, I'm assuming that it's mostly Australian clients that you have, or Perth. Is that correct?
Yeah, Australian clients from all across Australia.
Yep.
In some cases, Australians who are currently overseas.
Yeah.
It's interesting with the time difference. I mean, it's hard enough with our time difference.
Yeah, I know. 3 hours. I didn't even realize Perth was 3 hours difference.
Yeah, big country, eh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Like, I'm not really too familiar with international tax, but I imagine at least record keeping is probably fairly similar.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, generally,
even with Australian tax, we're working with current legislation. There's nothing been specific, at least for income tax, for digital currencies.
Yeah.
So we're working with that. The ATO, they put out some guidance in 2014, specifically on Bitcoin before this huge mania and this ICOs and all that. So they're lagging. They'll get some guidance out, I would think, in a few months.
Yeah.
If hopefully sooner.
Yeah.
I've been telling them you need to get your guidance up to date because people are misinterpreting what you've got on your website.
Yeah.
Which is no good.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of confusion. Yeah.
It's just slow in general.
Let's bring something up.
Yeah.
Everyone, crypto to crypto trade, that's a taxable event.
Right.
If you bought cryptocurrency as an investment, it's never going to be tax-free if you make a gain. Doesn't matter if you spend less than $10,000 on something.
Wow. Okay.
They're the two misconceptions.
Right. So, this is the other interesting thing, right? Where, because in general, the government does rely on people being honest about where their stuff is going, right? So you're liable, of course, if you ever get caught. But, and that's why a lot of folks in crypto have thought they're safe because it's like, well, I've bought my crypto now and I can do whatever I want with it. And they'll never find it because it's on the blockchain and I have my private keys and the government will never be able to access. But that's not really the case, is it, in terms of where the government comes in?
The government they've got extraordinary powers. And look, if people were trying to evade tax and they get away with it, hey, all good for them. But it's not really an option for most people. Yeah. I say that because I'm no fan of tax, to be honest. I work passionately every day to make people pay as least amount of tax as possible legally. So they don't have to look over their shoulder worrying. Because the government, what are they going to do? Maybe they can track some crypto, maybe they can't within the blockchain. But it's when you're going in, when you're going out, that's when they'll get you. Gotcha. If all of a sudden you can buy a house without a mortgage, you have a Lambo, you're going holiday after holiday, this all indicates that you've got some wealth. And then if they look at your tax return and go, hey, you've only reported 40 grand, 60 grand, 40 grand.
Gotcha.
What's going on here?
Yeah. It's like you've got money somewhere. And we're coming for you.
You don't want to be in the situation where they start coming at you.
Yeah.
And you're not prepared. It's no good.
Here's another question as well, right? For say if you are being paid for services in crypto, right? Say you're a consultant, okay, and you get paid $5,000 for whatever, $5,000 Australian dollars worth of Bitcoin Cash. In terms of putting things aside, right? Usually when you got your income coming in, you'll put some aside for tax, you'll put some aside for GST, etc. How would you? What's a general sort of tip for people in terms of what do they do with that money when they got it coming in?
Yeah, at the moment, the easiest solution for a merchant accepting a crypto, is to accept the crypto, but then immediately convert that to Australian dollars.
Okay, all right.
Because then you're not worrying about the exchange risks, the volatility involved, and you don't have to look into whether there's capital gains later or trading stock and the fluctuations there. That'll make things much easier.
Okay.
At this stage, and it's probably a sensible approach for a business. They shouldn't really be speculating on prices or something which isn't their core business. But if you do accept crypto and keep it, you've then got to track the cost of it, and then when you later dispose of it, you'll either make a gain or a loss, which will then be taxable.
Yeah, far out. It's just more complicated, really.
It is more complicated, and because of the big swings, and this happens with traders as well, some of them are sitting on some big profits at the moment. But they're keeping a lot of it in crypto. I mean, if those profits are there, and we go and we get to July, so new financial year in Australia, they've got a huge gain in the 2018 financial year, and then July, say it tanks, and they lose most of their money, the tax man's still going to want you to pay the tax on the 2018 gain.
Gotcha.
And you can't sit there going, well, I don't have the money anymore.
Right.
The tax man will say, you've had the opportunity to move that crypto and put it into Australian dollars or something more stable, and you didn't. So it's not our fault. You speculated on basically what was going to become the ATO's wealth. Pay up still. I really hope that doesn't happen because it's a nightmare situation for a lot of people. Yeah,
it'll be a nightmare for everybody. What about, so from the investment side, right? So say beginning of 2017, you put in 1,000 and with the investments, like every year in your tax return, do you just need to write down, how much you've gained from that? So, like you don't need to draw out anything really. How does that work? Yeah, from longer term investments.
So if all you've done is bought, never sold anything.
Yep.
There's nothing to put on your tax return.
Okay, so it's only if you're just holding.
You're just holding. You've never changed anything. You've never changed to a new crypto or come back into Australian dollars. Gotcha. It's unrealized. Taxman doesn't care at this stage.
Cool. So it's only when the trade happens. Sorry, it's only when the
trade happens. You come back to Australian dollars, or you go through a living room of Satoshi and pay a bill.
Yeah.
That's when you look at, have I made a gain? And then that needs to be reported. And in your tax return, there's a couple of different sections. It depends if you're a trader in business, or if you're just a long-term investor, where it goes.
Sorry, you mentioned the living room of Satoshi as well. So that's also considered. So say you're paying a credit card. Say you're paying your credit card off with the living room. So then, how does that work? What are you actually writing down then? You're writing down that you paid this amount, and then there's tax. Where's the tax part coming in that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, essentially, what you've done is you've made one step to pay off your bill, but you can look at it as I paid crypto across. I got this much Australian dollars, and then paid my bill.
Oh, okay.
You can look at it like that. So the Australian dollar amount of your bill, that's the proceeds from your sale.
Yep.
And then, did that crypto you dispose of, did you get a better rate than when you bought it? If you did, then you made a gain.
Okay. And then if you made the gain, then you pay the tax on the gain?
Yeah, on the gain. Yeah.
On the gain. Okay. Okay, that clarifies some things for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
What I was getting at was, thus far, there's never been a tax return with a cryptocurrency section there to put in it. There might be for 2018.
Okay. All right, noted for everyone listening.
Quite possible. I mean, the ATO, they're finally aware of how big this has got, so maybe they put something in there. But that's only, all you put in there is your total gains and your losses. You don't report what you're holding at the end of the year or like exactly what it's related to. It's generally just one lump sum number of all your trades that you've made.
Yeah. And what are you hopeful for in the future in terms of, I guess, even from your own profession and your own support for Bitcoin Cash? What are you looking forward to, let's say, over the next 5 years?
Yeah. Like tax-wise, we need, first, the ATO need to come out and clarify a few things, make things easier for everyone.
Yeah.
It would be great to see some legislation which really reduce the compliance burden.
Yeah.
On crypto. There's always going to be some taxing events there, I imagine.
Yep.
But make things much easier, particularly for those who are just wanting to basically use this as a currency. If you're using it as investment, I mean, treat it like every other investment.
Yeah.
But if people are using it like currency, treat it like how when you go overseas and you've got your US dollars and you're going around and you're paying things like that. Yeah. It's already fairly similar to that.
Yep.
But it'd be good to have some really clear-cut distinctions there and make it easier for merchants to accept crypto.
Yep.
And not have to instantly convert to Australian dollars. That would be ideal.
Yeah, I agreed on that. Ben, and are you familiar with Cliff High's work by any chance? Have you heard of him?
Okay. I've heard of him. I've heard you mention him.
Yeah.
People, yeah.
He was. I was listening to an interview with him this morning. I think it was on Crypto World or Crypto Network, something. And but he was talking about the next 5 years and how the regulations, of course, are coming. But in 2020s, he's calling it the soaring 20s. So you know how we had the roaring 20s in the 1920s. He's talking about the soaring 20s coming and how Bitcoin is still going to be like a dominant player, but it's like everything is spreading out because of all the other altcoins, right? And you know, for you, like, have you found yourself investing in other altcoins too when all the mania was happening last year? And if so, like what were some of the other altcoins that either piqued your interest or got you excited as well?
Nah, I don't care for anything else.
Hey, so yeah, you are all in on Bitcoin Cash.
This is more my personal way of. I'm terrible at gambling.
Yep.
I don't like sitting there not knowing.
Yes.
Never done any good with it.
Yep.
I learned a great lesson early on when I was investing. I went too hard. I was eventually right, but
yep.
I was right, but when I had no position because I knocked myself out.
Yeah.
It's not for me that stuff. It's all good that people have made a lot of money. I congratulate them, but I'm more just like in the crypto world. I'm passionate about seeing Bitcoin Cash improve everyone's lives.
Awesome.
I love the financial freedom that it can bring in. And when I say financial freedom, I mean what drew me in was, hey, the banks have got all our money, and we've seen Cyprus and Greece banks close. I was like, what if that happened here in Australia? Yeah. There's no way of holding your wealth outside the banking system. And then I seen Bitcoin. I was like, wow, this is brilliant. You can hold some wealth without that counterparty risk.
Yeah.
And I understand some people don't want to do that, and they'd rather use a service like Coinbase, which is brilliant. But now it's great that we have an option.
Yes.
You want to take on that responsibility, you can. If you don't, then you can use a custodial service.
Yeah.
That's what I like. And on people like Cliff High, is it?
Yeah, Cliff High, yep.
Yeah. I've learned along the way that, these sort of predictions are generally nowhere near accurate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Fanciful. And I'm not too sure how well that'll come out. Yeah.
Yeah, all of these guys, I mean, like, this is why, because it's almost become like crypto fortune telling, right? I would say that, at least for me personally, Cliff High has been pretty a lot more accurate than most, only because he's using emotional tones. So this is the predictive linguistic side. So he's doing it very differently. He's not looking at, technical analysis charts, which we know doesn't really help with anything other than if you're just trying to time when you get in and out from a short-term perspective. But, the crypto winter we just went through, all those TA guys, they just went quiet because they could not figure out, what the hell, this goes outside of my beautiful charts. This is not supposed to happen. Whereas Cliff High, he wasn't using that. He was using emotional tones. And because, a lot of the markets are based on emotional reactions, So from that perspective, it's just been interesting to see what he's been saying. He's had like maybe 50 to 60% accuracy. But even then, he always says like, this is what our data shows, but, invest at your own risk. But I'm so happy to hear that you're very well committed to seeing, I guess, that original Satoshi vision realized, and it's going to be very interesting times over the next decade. And of course, I'm with you. Really bullish on Bitcoin Cash as well. And yeah, with the other altcoins, I guess let everybody do what they're doing. Let them focus on trying to make their project the best that it can be.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Let the free market decide.
Exactly.
I'm a huge capitalist. Yeah.
Yep.
Compete. Perfect. Let's see what consumers and people actually want.
Yes. May the best project win, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And I guess final couple questions. First one is, if you were to share, one piece of advice to the world, anyone watching this. What's that advice or that message that you'd like to share?
Get something that you feel really passionate about and follow that through and just keep on it. And don't necessarily do it for selfish reasons. Yeah. Do it for selfish reasons, but do it for selfless reasons. Help other people out and help yourself out at the same time. You feel great about it. Yeah. Beautiful.
And I love asking everyone this question. If you could be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
I'd go to a dragon.
Hey, nice. And why a dragon for you?
I'm a dragon under the Chinese calendar.
Aha, yes.
So I thought it was pretty good timing as well to bring that up.
Yep, perfect, man. And finally, what's the URL or what website? What's the best way for people to contact you if they want to learn more or get even some of your services?
Yeah. So I work for Munros Accountants. It's munros.com.au.
Yep.
Got some various blogs up there around Bitcoin and taxation, and you can contact me through the contact form on the website. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, Drew,
or hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah, and I was about to say, guys, just go to Twitter. Twitter is pretty much the best way to get in touch with people directly. I thought Twitter was dead, but then crypto happened, and now Twitter is got meaning again and purpose. But yeah, Drew, man, thank you so much for your time, brother. We'll see each other out on the Twitterverse. And are you going to be going to Tokyo by any chance for the Satoshi Vision conference?
Nah, I'm going to make myself get across to the CoinGeek one in Hong Kong.
Nice. Yeah, I had to choose between the two.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, man. All right, well, I hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you around on the Twitterverse.
Yeah, cheers.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Drew.